Hello and welcome. I am Stacey Thomas, author, ALS advocate, film producer, and talk show host. I'm here to motivate, educate, and entertain. Join me on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Stacey Thomas Talk Show, where we have powerful discussions centered around health, relationship, careers, and everyday conversation. Follow me on Facebook, I am Stacey Thomas. On Instagram, Stacey Thomas Talk Show. And don't forget, I can promote you too. Email me at iamstaceythomas@gmail.com. Now, it's time for the show. Hey, everybody. This is I am Stacey Thomas. Did you hear the news? We're now not only on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but Swag Her Media on Facebook. When you Google or look the magazine up, it's SWAGHER. Do not put a space in between swag and her. That's not how they do things. So now you can find me and other awesome interviews on Swag Her on Facebook, on my YouTube, like I said, Facebook and Instagram. So Stacey's looking at multiple devices. Stacey's growing. What does they say? What is it that they say? If you want to grow, you got to ask God to guide you. You got to ask God to expand your territory. And all I got to say is, look at God. So tonight, listen, on the Stacey Thomas Show, tonight, I have to tell you, back with us is Erika Parker-Smith, herbalist, ritual arts facilitator, ancestral technologist, death companion, founder of the Brass Chamber. And I looked it up and I love the website. It's a new business, bridging modern innovation and ancestral technology to help communities reclaim rest, ritual, and reconnection with the earth. Did Erika just jump up? Hello? Let's see. She's on mute. Let's see what's going on.
Hello.
Welcome back, Erika.
Thank you.
How are you?
I am fantastic, Stacey. How are you?
I'm good. And I have to say I'm thankful because you gave me that time a few weeks ago. But hey, it's not my fault. You're such an interesting person. You have so many parts to, would it be parts to you, Erika? Is that the word?
I like to say multi-hyphenate or multifaceted.
Okay. I like that better. And you had mentioned the Brass Chamber.
Yes.
So when you sent it to me, I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do. You know, Stacey, what is it that you need to find out now about Erika Parker-Smith? Congratulations.
Thank you.
And while I check the social media platforms, Erika, let's begin with, it's called the Brass Chamber. What inspired you to create it?
So the Brass Chamber is a place for what I like to say, the freaks, the geeks, the outcasts, everybody that feels like awkward. Like it's for everybody, but it's not just for anybody. And so I've looked around in the wellness space for a long time and I shied away from this calling because I didn't see really anybody that looked like me or that sounded like me. And I'm like, it's not always love and light. I'm like, cuss them out today, sis. Like, you will feel better. It is okay. And so I just didn't see those kinds of things. I'm starting to see a little bit of it now, but also not just that, because it's, and anybody that knows me is like, Erika, if you are mean to somebody, they have earned that.
Okay.
I don't set out to be mean or rude or anything to anybody ever. It's like the baseline for me is to treat everybody with kindness and respect. That is the baseline until you are given a reason otherwise. And so this healing space is to basically talk about going on that healing journey, and also just in a way that's not all of the language that we usually hear.
Okay.
And it's just like, it's not that all the time. And it's like, can we get real about what that journey really looks like? Because it's ugly sometimes. You have some ugly cries, you losing friends, it feels like your life is falling apart, you might lose your job. I mean, just all kinds of things when you start just going down the path. You might go through a divorce, like all of that. And so where's the community and where's the space to hold us? And we don't talk about, when we think of grief, it's only when somebody dies, but any of those endings, and people want to talk about that. You're changing, you're growing, especially women, right? When we get to a certain age and stage in life and we start going through all these changes and everybody thinks we have lost our minds, and
Right.
we're coming into ourselves, right?
Right.
Like that space to be able to have those conversations with other people who are also there and feel like they don't have another place to go. They don't have other people to talk to. They don't, yeah, they're looking for community. And so it's like, well, why not be that community? Because sarcasm is my love language, and being a little snarky with a little dry wit. So sometimes it's like, wait a second, the joke might hit you 10 minutes after the fact. When you go home later, you like, she said, and then it's funny, so it's just like kind of knowing that and being able to just create a space where I can be myself too and allow other people to share in this space where they can also feel at home and be themselves as well.
Wow. But why the brass chamber? Why that name?
So as I was going through, I had come up with a name that I absolutely loved. Somebody was already using it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, back to the drawing board.
Okay.
And I was going down the rabbit hole of all these different names that like were amazing and people are already using them. And so I thought about, well, what if, and this is going to be a wild association because it has absolutely nothing to do with healing or herbalism or any of that. But I thought, like, what if Wu-Tang and John Wick had a baby? Like, what would that be called? And I was like, the brass chamber. And so I just went through a whole bunch trying to find something that wasn't being used, but also gave the feeling that I wanted to evoke, because the brand was also inspired by sanctuary cities. But during segregation, there was only certain places that Black people go for vacation, right?
Right.
So
Right.
you can like going to Oak Bluffs on Martha's Vineyard or going to Highland Beach or Idlewild, or any of these kind of places that were just for us. And then once segregation, desegregation happened, those places kind of fell by the wayside a little bit and people started going other places. And so I thought about, how do I create that sense of like safety and sanctuary for us in these modern times where we are now? Also seeking safety in places where we can just be, where you don't have to explain yourself. You can like just tell somebody a snippet of a story and we all know because collectively we have those experiences, right? So it's creating that space where you can be seen and heard and felt and validated and not feel like you're just out there floating by yourself.
Wow. I really wish you would have had a video so you could like, excuse me, just looking at the website, like takes your mind off for any distractions around you. The way you created your website grabs attention. It makes someone, I bet you if someone would have just took a snippet of it and showed me what it was, I would have wanted to say, wait a minute, let me look it up. So that the website is beautiful. And I guess the way you designed it goes with the title, John Wick and Wu Kang.
Wu-Tang, yes.
I said Wu Kang.
Because Wu-Tang is always talking about like, the 36 chambers and like
Right.
shopping, which is all the stuff that I love too, right? And just knowing that it's just, yeah. So it just, I was just like, you take some stuff that's kind of, bad AWS and put it together.
Right.
And it's like, how do you do that?
Very,
And
very creative. So I noticed, you spoke about what we could do at one time, where we could go, where we could find peace at. Is this more geared more toward African American women or women? Who's your target audience?
My target, honestly, it is for Black people in general.
Okay.
And the thing is, again, it's for whoever it resonates with, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
it truly is for a place of safety for us. And I'm very much like Black women and children first. And not
Okay.
to say that our brothers are not included, because they definitely
Right.
are. And I'm definitely like a womanist and not necessarily a feminist, because
Right.
it's about
Okay.
being like holistic, and because the community needs everybody.
Right.
But it's definitely like, where do we have these places of safety for us first and foremost? Because that's like so formative. It's like if we fall, everything falls. So
Right.
where do we get those places where we can rest, where we can be restored and rejuvenated, and all of, like, where do we get that? Where do we get to be held? Because we're so much the caregivers, but who's taking care of us? And so that's what the space really is about.
I love that. I love that because there's so many women that sometimes we don't want to talk to the best friend. Sometimes we just may want to go somewhere, get a peace of mind, may listen to God,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
or different people call different names, but sometimes you just need a break. Because I'm going to be honest with you, one time years ago I felt so overwhelmed, married, children, bills, a lot of things were going on. And I have to be very honest with you, I never could understand how a woman could leave her family. But for a minute, Erika, two things crossed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up in front of my house and said, do I really have to go in there? Not because I was being abused, Erika. It was the weight of everything on me.
Yes.
And then I said, and I didn't do this, Stacey. Hey, anybody that knows Stacey knows she likes a good whiskey. But it crossed my mind, is this why people smoke weed? Is this why they sit and look so peaceful? Of course, I didn't do neither, Erika. But my point for saying it is, we need that space.
But you can also have whiskey and a J if you need it. Like, it is okay. Like, no judgment here. Because
I
I was
understand.
and I was like, sometimes that I call that a parenting timeout, and
Oh,
sometimes we need those.
okay. I
No
have to
judgment.
be I have to be honest. My friends are gonna get me, but I was like that chick that they would go outside of the club and I'd sit in and just drink, and I'd be like, I'm okay. I think it came from that strict mother of mine threatening us if we dared to do something. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and that was some things, your parents just, some mothers just can scare the living, what, out of you, Erika.
I mean, but also, you know what? I will say this: the cannabis gets a bad rap, right?
Right, that's
For all
true.
the things that we hear about it, it is an herb, it is a plant, and it literally, and there are study after study after study of the healing effects that it can absolutely have
I
for
will
people,
I
whether
will
it's their mental health or their physical health. There are studies that show it, you know?
right,
So, like,
right.
that's a whole different show. We could do a show just about why
Right.
that all happened.
See, and I don't disagree with you. And I'll say this too. When my mother came down with Lou Gehrig's disease, man said that there was no medication. That they didn't have anything to help her. And I had spoken to someone and they suggested an herbalist. And I did. My mother could not speak. And I
Okay.
did. I did say, "What, Mom, I did say, would you try some weed?" That's what I called it. Would you try some weed? And I think she didn't want to try it because she was just ready to go. But I was at the point, you start thinking differently when you want to save your loved ones. You know what I mean? Not
Mhm.
that I thought it was bad, it just wasn't my thing, like I said. But I did. That was one time I never thought I would ask my mother, would you like to smoke a joint? But I did, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because she had given up or she was scared, but that's another.
Yeah.
So I believe more and more that God put what we need on this earth. Some of us are just too afraid to lean on him or actually believe that everything has already been put on the earth.
And not only that, the reason that it's called weed is because it used to be growing everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, like it was just out there, you know?
Right.
before it was villainized and demonized. Like it was everywhere. People just it was just out. It was like dandelions. You know, we
Wow.
see dandelions everywhere. People pull them up out of their yard, not even realize, hey, that dandelion is there for a reason, and that means that is
That
whatever
that
plants and herbs are going around your house. 9 times out of 10, that's the medicine that you need. And you can at least maybe not get the ones in your yard. I don't know if people spray in their yards or what they
right, right.
all that kind of stuff. But if you just go take a little survey outside of what's growing out there, they're all kind of medicinal plants. And typically that is exactly the medicine that you need for yourself.
My stepfather, he's about 70, 71. We were talking the other day, and he said he remembers growing up in the country, and any medicine they needed, his mother knew exactly what to pick when she went out in the backyard and in the woods.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe we need to go back.
We're
What
going
did you
back.
say? Reconnect with the earth.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm excited to see the interest in it. It's disappointing to see that capitalism, you know, because anytime things get commodified, all of a sudden it's kind of like kale, right? People
Right.
just get kale, and kale just price just skyrocketed. Like you
Right.
can buy kale for nothing, you know?
Right.
It's like everybody wants kale because it's, you know, it's trendy. And so, but I'm just still happy to see people having an interest in that, and just knowing what's around them, and being just more open to alternatives.
I love it.
So yes.
So based on like your website, can you share what makes, is it Rebelmancy readings?
Rebelmancy, yes.
Rebelmancy readings, vibe checks, and herbal consults unique?
So Rebelmancy is my system of like divination. So I learned a traditional divination method called cowrie shell divination, and it is something that Elder Malidoma Patrice Tomei used to teach. And I learned it from a student of his, Ms. Amira Branch, who is amazing at East Coast Village. And because I've had for years an interest in like tarot and all these other things, and so I just kind of been practicing and doing things quietly, and I keep getting the messaging from like the elders keep saying, ma'am, you want to hide, and you are no longer in a position to hide. You have got to talk about the work that you are doing, the work you have done, and what you're going to be doing in the future. And so that, not just being an herbalist, but it's like this, having that holistic view of helping people along their journeys. Because it's like, what sense does it make to heal our minds and our bodies if we're not also healing our spirit? So it's just all of that, and helping people to reconnect with nature, because that can truly like save us, just collectively save us. So yeah.
Very interesting. You know, I'll say it once again, Erika. If we lived in the same city, I'd probably want tea all the time, because you know what?
I make tea too. So yes, I will hook you right
You're
on.
making tea?
I do have tea blends.
Okay. Tell us about the tea blends.
So the tea blends are things that I have been working on for the last few years now, and a couple of people have like tested them and given me feedback, and I've tweaked them. And I got, you know, gold star from a teacher, Karen Rose, about all the medicines I've created. And so I'm just excited now to share them with the world. If you look at like the names of these, like there's an unbothered, there's an unfazed, you know, they have names like that because that's exactly how you're gonna feel, you know, and just like that's especially right now. It's just like you deserve more than one good nerve, or that last nerve that we all talk about and allude to. It's like your good nerve needs backup, you know, let's preserve that. And like, so I try to really create things that help people and support people in doing that.
So, for people who don't know a lot about what you do,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a little curious or
Mm-hmm.
unsure.
Yes.
And I say unsure because you have some people, they're not open-minded, they're not open for new things. They've been taught things when they grow up, and they're too fearful to try something different. What's the best way for that individual who's curious to get started as far as getting a consult from you or learning more about you?
And that is the reason that I added that vibe check on my website. So that is free. That does not cost anything. It's 15 minutes. We can have a conversation. And really for somebody to like ask questions and figure out like, is this a match? Not just for them, but also for me. Because guess what? I don't want everybody as my client. And I'm okay saying that. And I know some people don't want to say that, but I'm willing to say that because again, I know that everything is not for everybody and neither am I. And so that is what that vibe check really is about. Is just to come, we'll sit, we'll have a conversation, and then we'll see what are some next steps. It's like, would you like a reading? Then we can book that. Would you like an herbal consultation? We can book that. And just see how we want to work together. Are you a business that maybe you want to have an herbal line or you want herbal products in your shop or to sell them in your online store, or you have an event coming up and you would like a tea blend or an oil or something for your event? Let's talk about it and see how we can work together.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break, but
Okay.
people, please don't go anywhere. Erika, don't you dare leave. And when we come back, I want to talk to you about who do you believe or who have you found that's drawn to the brass chamber.
Okay.
And I want to also know the impact that it's having on your customers. See you in a
Okay.
minute, okay? So here we have Cyrus Webb with Conversation Media Group. Cyrus has a special going on for all authors who watch or follow this show. It's a marketing bundle just for you. Get 5 copies of your books ordered on Amazon. Get 5 of your books ordered. You appear on live on an Amazon interview, and you'll have a book review and featured in the magazine for $2.97. If you don't know much about Cyrus Webb, if you don't know about his awesome shows live on Amazon, I suggest if this deal is appealing to you that you jump on it and head over and Google him. How about that? Okay, so now we're going to get back with Erika. Isn't she interesting? Yes, she is. Hello, beautiful.
Hello. Thank you. So,
Listen, I'm
yes.
sorry.
No, I was going to say to answer your question, because I cannot forget this group of people because
Okay.
we've always forgotten. And you asked, like, who is it? Like, who does it attract? Honestly, Gen X, because I'm Gen X. And I'm like, nobody ever creates brands and products for us. Like, they have stuff for boomers, they have stuff for Gen Z, they have stuff for millennials. Now they have stuff for Generation Alpha, but Gen X, as they call us, the forgotten generation. I'm like, this is really about us, which again, I'm sure anybody that's Gen X is going to get the John Wick and the Wu-Tang reference and will understand.
I got it. Lover loves John Wick, and I enjoy the movies and Wu-Tang. All right.
Gen X is where it's at. So that's who my target demographic is. And I also call a lot of times the brass chamber. I watched a documentary about yacht rock, and I was like, you know what? That's how the brand feels to me, but it's more yacht soul than yacht rock, but we all know that music too. So it's just, all that stuff that came up in like the 80s and the 90s, and everybody that does it for the 99 and the 2000s, like all of us, when we hear the beat drop, we all know what that is, and we wish we had these to still be able to do that. But that's who it's for.
That's who it's for. So what kind of feedback, like what's the best feedback that you've gotten so far?
The best feedback I have gotten so far was when I got a phone call from a friend and she said, "Where's your website? I am out of all of my teas and I need to reorder."
Okay.
The other compliment that I got, I created basically a grief care package for someone that was for another friend. And she just said the thoughtfulness that was put into that box and all of the products that were in there were very, like, it was thoughtful, and it was like a hug in a box and comforting somebody who was going through one of the most difficult times of their life.
Wow. Wow. Where do you see, Erika, the brass chamber going over the next year? Or is that a question you want to say just follow me and see?
You know, right now with all of this, like we just had an eclipse, we had a full moon, like all this stuff is happening yesterday. And I don't know if people know, but it
Oh,
was like, if you look at
sorry.
the date, oh no, you're good. It was 9, 9. And then if you add up 2025 was also 9. So we know that like 9 is like a super powerful number. This year is a 9 year with all the like snake energy and fire energy and transformation that's happening. I am boldly stepping into where this business is going for a year because it is about me stepping into myself fully and unapologetically and being that light that is giving people permission to also step into who they are and to be themselves. And it's like, let's go, because we don't know what this country is going to look like in a year, right?
Right.
And so I feel that in my heart of hearts, it's like Gen X was built for this moment. And I saw a post where a woman had given a speech and she said, look, Gen X, I didn't forget about y'all. I'm going to get to y'all in a minute. She said, but there's a reason why I didn't address y'all and I addressed everybody else. And she got up, she got back around to it. And she said, Gen X, y'all are the most independent and self sufficient generation there is. She's like, if I had something to say to y'all, y'all probably wouldn't listen. And she's like, and not only that, if the zombie apocalypse breaks out, I'm coming to stand behind you because you're going to know exactly what to do. And that is what this moment feels like to me. A lot of us have been preparing for this very moment in history to step up and step in and step in the gap and like honestly hold the line. Like this is where we are. And it's like it's coming whether we're ready for it or not. So you can embrace it and surrender to the process, or you can go kicking and screaming. So it's like choose your own adventure, how you want it to go. And that to me is what the next year really is going to be about. So I am open to the opportunities and whatever is coming next.
Wow. Love it. So I have to ask this because I'm Stacey Thomas.
Okay.
And excuse me, and I will ask questions that people want to know but who are too afraid to ask. So before we wrap this up,
Yes, ma'am.
Erika, for those of us who have been raised, okay, how do I say this? Someone comes to you, you're talking about all these natural things, you're talking about connecting with the earth,
Mm-hmm.
and they say, but I believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to, I do not believe that you're trying to turn people from God. So explain to us, what do you say to that person that says, Erika, I don't want to know about your herbal medicine. That's not, that's man. That's, I believe in God. What do you say?
I mean, people take Tylenol, right?
Right?
So white willow bark. But anyway, I will say this, and this has come in grad school. I read one of the books we had to read, and a thought that I had was like, people go to church on Sundays, right? They
Right.
get dressed up, they get in their car, and they drive to church.
Right.
On that drive to church, they pass trees, flowers, birds, grass, like all these things
Beautiful
that
thing.
God has made, right?
Beautiful things. Right.
So it's like, so God put all these things here for us too, right?
Right.
For us to be, because we are not separate from nature. We are also a creation of nature as well.
Right.
Like we're not different from it. So it's like, how do we get back into alignment? And this has nothing to do with people's what religion they believe in. Because no matter what religion it is, we all believe in a creator God. We might call God a different name. The ways in which people worship may be different, but it's still telling you to be a good neighbor and be a good person and to be of service. And so this is not taken away from anybody doing that. This is actually, it's getting you even more connected and living in a way that is truly what God had aligned and planned for us anyway.
Beautifully said. Erika, I'm looking forward to your YouTube channel or your Instagram station, story when you set everything up. I am. And before we go, I would like to say thank you again. But tell us, what's the one thing that you want people to know that have watched this interview?
What would I like to? The Brass Chamber is open for business. We are here. I am always open to answer questions. Um, but also, and it does say this on the website, like if you are emailing me to pick my brain, the answer is no. I don't do those. Like I have learned that just over years of being a
Mhm.
business owner. It's like I put as much information up there, hopefully to answer people's questions as much as possible. But definitely, like, let's partner, let's collab, let's work together. Yes, I'm open for speaking engagements. I'm open. I also facilitate and I host, and I love having conversations with people. So,
I
find
love
me
I was
at
going to ask you about the speaking. Thank you for disclosing that to us. Erika, thank you so much for sharing everything that some of what you've learned and your vision with us, sweetheart. I I'm really appreciative of it. And I know people
you having me on too. So
and I know there are people watching that would like to connect with you. So my last question,
yes,
how do they follow you? We see the website, but how do they follow you?
on Instagram it is at the Brass Chamber. So definitely, I do have another page that is the THE _eccentric cousin, also on Instagram. And the email address to get in touch with me is get@thebrasschamber.com.
Thank you, beautiful. I am wishing you the best.
Thank you.
Have a great night, sweetheart. Okay. Listen, we have one more thing we need to talk about. But before we start talking about this, everybody, let me say this. Erika is very interesting, very knowledgeable, well-educated individual. But what I really like about her is that she's not just going by what she reads. She's researching things, she's studying things. So if you want to know more, I do have the Brass Chamber website in the comments. Excuse me. Every time I get online, my nose itches. So what do we have here? We have Swag Her. Once again, I told you guys, when you Google them, do not put a space between swag and her. Your stage awaits. Share your voice with Swag Her. Okay. Swag Her is on Facebook. Swag Her is online. Swag Her is on YouTube. Swag Her is on Instagram. And let me remove this. What's going on bundle? $430. What does it include, Stacey? I'm glad you asked. Includes a live interview on Swag Her's Facebook page. Head over there, check the page out. And a written interview on swagheronline.com. Head over there and check out Swag Her magazine. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those on Swag Her's platform. Thank you for those on my platform. I really appreciate all you do to support I Am Stacey Thomas and the guests I have on the show. Because remember, sometimes the blessing isn't for me. I'm merely a bridge to connect the blessing to one of you or a few of you. Don't stress too much about yesterday. Don't worry too much about tomorrow. Because if you do, you just might miss living today. Have a great day, everyone, and thank you.